So we have studied about iron and steel industry, and we have seen that how it is processed and turned into steel, and then the last final good is to uh, convert this steel into different shapes. Okay. Now let's move on to another plant that is of aluminium. So this aluminium smelting we'll do, and the ore of aluminium is bauxite. This bauxite is the ore which is dark reddish color ore, and aluminium smelting in India, it is the second largest industry. Okay, in India, and in aluminium smelting we are at the second place, and it is light. That means aluminium is light weighted, plus it is resistant to any type of corrosion, or a good conductor of heat also. Heat can be passed in through this aluminium, so it is a good conductor of heat and also electricity. Okay, you may be seeing that these aluminium wires are used for passing this electric current from one place to another, and apart from this, it is malleable. Aluminium is malleable means that without breaking it, it can be turned into shape. So in any type of shape. So this aluminium can also be made stronger when it is mixed with other metals. So this aluminum is used to manufacture aircraft. Some cooking utensils are made up of aluminum, and in the electronic industry, aluminum is used to make wires. Okay, electric wires. So why this aluminum has gained so much popularity? Because this aluminum is a substitute of steel, and also zinc, and also lead, and also copper. Okay, so it is a substitute, and that is why it is gaining more importance. And apart from this, if we'll observe here that aluminum smelting plants in our country India is at different states. It is set up, that is in Odisha also, West Bengal, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, and Tamil Nadu. And bauxite, that is the ore of aluminium, it is used in the smelters where the purification of alumina from its ore, bauxite, is done. Here in the smelters, the raw material is taken in bulk. It means in a large quantity, and if you will see, one flow chart is also given to you on page number 72. There you can see that this process is shown here, where it is telling us that 4 to 6 tons of bauxite ore can produce up to 2 tons of alumina. So you can see that ore consists of various different other minerals also, which are called to be as impurities, that are to be removed when in the aluminium smelters. So from 4 to 6 tons of bauxite ore, 2 tons of alumina we can extract, and near about 1 ton of aluminium. So to manufacture this aluminium, one process is there, and that is called as electrolysis process. In electrolysis, what happens that the raw material is taken to the plant, and through rails or ship, and apart from this, this bauxite ore is crushed there, and after crushing it, alumina is dissolved out. After that, in the electrolysis process, current of about 18,600 kilowatt per ton of ore is required, and the electrolyte used in this electrolysis process is cryolite. It is a white color powdered substance, and it is acting as an electrolyte for it, where two rods or cathode and anode are also dipped into the this particular electrolysis process. So through this process, that is, the current is passed in the electrolyte, and the pure alumina is being sticking to the one of the rod from another one. So this is how this smelting process is done through electrolysis in aluminum smelters. If you will see here that this is how the very important product, that is aluminum, which is the substitute of steel, zinc and lead, is produced. Then if we'll move on to another industry here, it is given to us automobile industry. This automobile industry is also very important, and you can see that this industry is gaining more and more importance nowadays, because if you will see here that in the automobile industry, this industry is continuously producing vehicles, four-wheelers or two-wheelers, which are used for transportation of goods or service, transportation of goods, or maybe the passengers are also taken from one place to another place. In the same way, automobile industry, if you will see that now from the time liberalization was adopted from 1991, in which most of the restrictions of the government were removed from the private sector companies, and now private sector has more importance in producing different type of three-wheelers or two-wheelers, four-wheelers. So therefore more number of models are coming in the market, because now the private sector is becoming more it is prospering, and it is becoming more important, this private sector, in which, due to which the production in the automobile sector of these vehicles is increasing. So from the time this liberalization policy was adopted, from that time onwards, this automobile industry is doing well, and it is becoming more and more important also. So we can find that most of the automobile manufacturing plants are situated in Delhi, Gurugram, Mumbai, Pune, Chennai, Kolkata, Lucknow, Indore, Hyderabad, Jamshedpur and Bengaluru. Apart from this, we'll move on to another industry. This is called as chemical industry. If you see in this chemical industry, this is a very important industry, because many different type of products are produced from this chemical industry only. And in the chemical industry, both the type of sectors, or we can say that is organic and inorganic chemicals, are used in this chemical industry to produce a number of goods and number of products, like that of if you'll see what are these organic chemicals. Organic chemicals are those which contain carbon content in it, and apart from this, in the inorganic chemicals, these do not contain carbon in it. So if you will see, inorganic chemicals include like sulfuric acid to manufacture fertilizers, synthetic fibers, plastics, adhesives, paints, dyes, stuffs, so many things. And you can see here that most of the minerals which are made from this chemicals only are which we use for our daily use. We use it, like that of soap and detergents and paper, okay, and even to it is also used to make glass, so many different important things. And organic chemicals, if we'll talk about, then these include petrochemicals, which are used for manufacturing of synthetic fibers, synthetic rubber, plastics, dyes, stuffs, pharmaceuticals even. Okay, so petrochemicals are those type of chemicals which are produced by refining of this petroleum. Okay, so many different products are made from it. The chemical industry is its own large consumer, and basic chemicals undergo processing to further produce other chemicals that are used for industrial application, agriculture, or directly by the consumer market. So many different products are produced with the help of these chemicals, and for the consumers also, and for the agriculture sector, so many different type of fertilizers are also produced with this chemical. Therefore, we used to call these fertilizers which we use on our agricultural land today as chemical fertilizers. Then we'll move on to our fertilizer industry here, and in the fertilizer industry you will see that it is becoming more and more important, because our country is agrarian, where more population of the country is engaged in agricultural sector, and in agricultural sector we can see that more and more of this fertilizer is used. So this fertilizer industry is manufacturing nitrogenous fertilizers also, like which we call mainly urea, we can call it, and phosphatic fertilizers and ammonium phosphate fertilizer which is called as DAP, and complex fertilizers which have a combination of nitrogen, phosphate, potash. So all the type of fertilizers you can see here, which we can use for different type of crops, okay, for its better production. And thirdly, potash is entirely imported, as the country does not have any reserves. So potash is actually imported from other countries, as we are not having reserves of potash or potassium compound. After Green Revolution, it was a time period from 1960 to 70 or 70 to 80. During this time period, Green Revolution was project was the one which was at its peak. During this time, farmers were using more and more of high yielding variety of seeds, HYV seeds, in which fertilizer was a very important component for producing crop. So at this time, the demand for this fertilizer increased at a very high extent. Apart from this, some of the fertilizer industry or manufacturing units are set up in Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Punjab, Kerala. Okay, these are the states of India which produce up to half of the fertilizer production. And other significant producers in India of fertilizers are Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, Rajasthan, Bihar, Maharashtra, Assam, West Bengal, Goa, Delhi, Madhya Pradesh, and Karnataka. After this, we'll move on to cement industry here. In the cement industry, this is a heavy industry, because the raw material of this cement industry is heavier, weight of it is heavier, and because of this, the transportation cost of bringing the raw material to the plant is also very high, and the product which is produced also, it is heavy in weight. So it is a heavy industry, and if you will see here, the cement is used for various construction purposes, like that of construction of building, houses, factories, bridges, roads, airports, dams, so many things, and commercial buildings also. So this industry is a heavy industry, and if you will see what all type of materials are required to manufacture cement. So the three main materials or raw materials which are required to manufacture cement are limestone, silica, gypsum, and the most important things required are good electric supply should be there, and also rail transportation. So this industry has strategically located plants in Gujarat, okay, and also from Gujarat a lot of cement is exported to other Gulf countries also. And if you will see here that 1 mark question, very important. The first cement plant in India was set up in Chennai in 1904. So 1 mark question, okay, it is very important. After independence, the industry expanded. So after independence, this industry, cement industry, expanded up, and the quality of cement is also now being improved, which is available in the market currently, and this improvement in the quality has found the produce available market in East Asia. You can see here that because of the better quality of cement, now it is being exported to eastern parts of Asia, Middle East, Africa, South Asia, and apart from a large demand within the country. So you can see here that large demand is already there in the country, but because of the high quality of cement, it is being demanded by other countries as well. This industry is doing well in terms of production as well as export. So within the domestic territory, it is producing a lot of quantity of cement, and apart from this, for other countries also. So efforts are being made to generate adequate domestic demand. So efforts are made so that adequately this cement should be fulfilling the demand of the domestic territory only, in order to sustain our industry. So this was for cement industry.